Hello and welcome to another episode of Rugby Through the Leagues podcast. I'm Carl, and everyone that's been through the pod's probably recently known that I've been travelling around, but this is the final intro that we're going to have back in England. We are off to Spain during the week, so social's going to be a little bit light, but we are finally making it back to the hopeful sunshine. So obviously this week we got the pleasure of going up to Petersfield the other week for their first game of the season. Managed to meet up with North Dorset as well. We were an absolute pleasure to meet. Hopefully you guys saw earlier in the week, we went back up to Newbury as well, got some interviews, got welcomed up there again. Obviously, they've had a bit of a tougher start to the season than they hoped, and we probably all expected after having a blistering pre-season. But went to Petersfield, had an absolute blinder of a day. Great group of lads, great accommodation, great round. Pitch looked amazing. Great day of rugby ahead. And then the drizzle come down, which probably took a bit of the zip off the game, but 32-17 win at home to start the season off weren't too bad for Petersfield. Obviously, seemed to come had a tougher game against Tots at the weekend, which unfortunately didn't come away with the win, but not a bad start for Petersfield in that league. North Dorset managed to go and take a victory off Chichester as well. So it looks like it's going to be a competitive league there. Obviously, Winchester put a pump in on Andover, so who knows how this one's going to go this league. But we'll obviously keep abreast of it. Petersfield was so welcoming, obviously more than happy to help with everything that we were trying to do. Lined everything up, put a brilliant lunch on, managed to meet Stu Barden, the chairman there, and big plans ahead for the club. The supporters were brilliant. Everyone was brilliant. It was a really great day out. So I think you guys will really enjoy this one. So the competition, we want to try and redesign the logo. We also want a backdrop behind, which includes 100 local grassroots rugby clubs across the globe. So as far as we can spread this, as far as possible, we'll try and get logos from here, there to everywhere. So I think we'll then be able to get it put into a random generator, get those 100 clubs picked, and then we'll be able to get the design sorted up and hopefully get them ready by the start of the new year. So that's the plan. Really want to sort of put grassroots back into that spotlight. And if our logo and everything like that is there permanently, we might regenerate it in a year's time. Who knows? But let's try and get this one underway. So I'll be putting a post out later on again with it, and probably tagging a few clubs just to get the ball rolling. So hopefully you enjoy this one. It's a great one. It's a proper grassroots rugby club again. So let's get on with it.
Right. We are down at Petersfield for the first game of the season. Got Jamie here, who's team manager. Yeah, correct. Pitch looks pretty decent out there, mate.
Yeah, Chris Todd, our groundsman, has worked really hard over the summer. So yeah, really
been winding him up in the league lunch, and it's
very easy to wind up as well.
But everyone fully fit today? Has it been availability for full squad or?
Yes and no. There's been a few injuries that has sort of come up sort of over the last sort of couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Some to do with rugby, some outside of rugby.
Yeah.
Wear and tear. But yeah, no, the pre-season has gone well.
Yeah.
It's just generally hopefully now we've had a few pre-season games against level 5 opposition.
Yeah.
Which put ourselves in a half decent position. So we look forward to getting out there now.
Obviously North Dorset have come up, so sort of same position as you guys. Yeah. How do you think they're prepared? Do they look fairly forward heavy, seeing as a Dorset side?
Yeah, so like sort of seeing them all turn up, and they look sort of quite sort of setting their forwards.
Yeah.
So hopefully our pitch is sort of quite wide.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get the ball moving, utilise our backs, and hopefully be able to sort of penetrate them sort of around the outsides.
Christy, is that kind of the game plan today? Obviously with that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just keeping the ball in our hands. And sort of
Here we go.
with no one else.
We nearly got a North Dorset there. Go on,
Yeah.
get involved. You can come in later if you want. Okay, so kind of try and stretch them a little bit.
Yeah, just move it around, and then just hopefully fitness will take in, and we find the gaps.
Yeah, 100%. There's I'm sure there's probably gaps to be found. The pitch looks pretty decent. Weather's probably going to work in your favour, do you think? Or does it slow the pitch down?
No, it should work in our favour.
Yeah.
It's not obviously too wet out there, so it's just going to be keeping the
zip.
ball in hand.
Yeah.
And sort of, I think at the end of the day, it'll be the side that sort of comes off with the least amount of errors is going to be the one that wins the day.
Game plan to try and keep that penalty count down and just make sure you keep it under your jumper a little bit, and when the opportunities come round. You lost a couple of lads pre-season as well, was that correct? A couple have moved on?
Yeah, so
Tommy Matthews that moved across up to Cov?
Tommy Matthews, he's been a Petersfield boy since he's been really young.
Yeah.
He come down, he's trained a little bit with us.
Yeah.
Sort of allowed sort of a little bit of knowledge to be handed on to us. But sort of it was never really sort of going to be on the books. But yeah, we've had a few that have sort of gone to take their hand, sort of try and hire up.
Yeah. You can't.
No, exactly. And like if they're at that age where they're coming to sort of like the peak of their career and playing some really good rugby. So you sort of go, go and try your hand at it. And obviously we'll be here with open arms if they sort of go, actually, it's not for me.
You've got a pretty decent setup down there. Obviously, I see that you guys have managed to get the sort of the Warriors gym around the corner or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But, has there been much uptake pre-season for everyone getting down here? Everyone sort of taking their own responsibility of their phys?
I think a lot of boys have realised that it's a step up.
Yeah.
And I think from last year to this year, and a lot of boys were finding it not easy as such, but they're comfortable because they were higher level in their fitness than they had been throughout like all of their other seasons.
Yeah.
So now this year they know actually we're going to have to step up, and MC, our director of rugby, has sort of had set like plans set out for everyone. So nutrition, strength conditioning plans throughout the summer to actually get boys coming into pre-season in a pretty good shape.
Brilliant. Yeah, obviously we had Matty on quite early on. He's now got the DOR. Has it all gone to his head? The power gone to his head now? DOR or
no, definitely not. He's still sort of very sort of level-headed in terms of, but expectations are high, and that's what makes him probably the perfect man for the job. Yeah. Because actually, if someone had their expectations lower, well, that's all you're going to strive to do.
100%.
His expectations are higher. That's all we're going to.
What is the expectations in this season? What, has anyone said it out loud, or?
I don't think anyone said it out loud. I think from my own personal sort of view, I think if we can be in a position at Christmas to be
there or thereabouts,
I would probably say if we're top half other side of Christmas and could be in with a chance of pushing for promotion, that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want us like last season. We went into the second half of the season with a massive target on our back.
Yeah.
Because we were up there, we were beating teams comfortably.
Yeah.
I don't want us to be in that position, because then that puts an expectation on us and an extra pressure on us. I'd rather be in the chasing pack.
Yeah, I think you obviously, if you can keep the pitch the way it is as well and get the other side of Christmas and get that zipping, it's going to work. Those home games are going to work.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm guessing the plan is to try and get as many home points as possible.
Yeah. Yeah,
you got to put your stamp on it at home, and
being at home is definitely a must for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's what we're going to be going.
Brilliant. So, core prediction for today?
I think it's going to be a tight one. I think it's probably going to be about 27-23 to us.
Sounds good. That'll be an epic game of fierce.
Yeah, definitely.
Really appreciate your time.
No,
I'll catch up with you at half time if that's all right.
Yeah, perfect.
Right. So we've now got Zach from North Dorset. Really appreciate your time, mate.
Thank you.
What's your expectations this season? Obviously, you got promoted last year.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
So for us this season, it's all about sustaining this level.
Yeah.
We're a club that have been thriving and building for years now.
Yeah.
And we want to sustain this level of rugby for the future and for the boys that have worked really hard in the last couple of seasons to get.
Brilliant. So obviously last season got promoted. Was it a clean cut, or was it a little bit of a grind? Did you walk the league, or did it come down to sort of the last?
Yeah, we had a couple of games which we sort of set up on.
Yeah.
Which we were gutted about, but yeah, we did a single game at home, which is our big fortress. And yeah, we want to get that going again this year, and hopefully we can do that. And also, the double games last year, which was a bit tougher than we expected.
Fair enough. So obviously this year you got some big games probably coming up. What's your sort of standard default as yours.
Oh yeah, we are
Front.
big up front.
Yeah, bit nasty.
The pack every week will weigh at least a ton.
Yeah.
It won't stop going. People look at it and we hear it every single week. Come on, look at them, they're going to tire.
Yeah.
And I promise you now,
They won't.
They won't tire.
Brilliant.
They'll keep going. And the bench, it's just as big.
And
They'll keep going all game, and they are big.
when it does get out to the backs, eventually, they got enough to finish it off.
They see the ball a little bit, and when they do, they finish it, which is really good. But yeah, no, big up front pack.
Happy days. So obviously, big season ahead. Some big game coming out. You've got a nice little derby against Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, no, really look forward to playing Bournemouth. I haven't played Bournemouth for a few years now. At first team level, obviously they've come down a little bit. So yeah, really looking forward to playing Bournemouth again. Looking forward to playing our old friends at Wimborne, and also coming to all these great new clubs.
Great pitch out there.
I say, come to Petersfield today. Absolutely lovely hosts. The pitch is looking amazing. Yeah. The clubhouse was absolutely lovely, and really hospitable and accommodating. So really looking forward to coming to more clubs like this season.
So target for this year then, is it kind of just make sure you're stable in this league and go again, or do you think you're going to be the dark horses and sort of appear at that front back at the end of the year?
Yeah, no.
Go?
For us, the aim is mid-table.
Okay.
If we can finish 6th or 7th this year, we'll be absolutely over the moon.
Yeah.
And just build on it, and then who knows where we'll be in a couple of years' time. But for this year, it's about the boys giving it their all.
Yeah.
Finishing mid-table would be the icing on the cake.
So how did you come DOR then? Obviously, you're not probably too old, are you?
No. Yeah, no. So from a young age, I was always organising bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Straight out of Colts, so sort of third team captain. Played a bit of twos, couple of games for the ones.
So pretty much team bin juice.
Yeah, a lot of organising, organising sevens competitions, organising the women's team. For me, it's all about getting back to the community and the people that help me. I'm not an amazing rugby player. I'm not going to say and say I am.
No.
But I absolutely love what I do.
Man.
And getting these boys up here, and they put on the show, and we help the show happen behind the scenes, and I absolutely love that.
Club in a good state. Good platform to push forward if you get the opportunity.
Club's doing really well. We had our first weekend back last weekend. Everyone from under fives up to the women were training last year, which is great to see.
Yeah.
The boys have now done 2 pre-season games. They've been training for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
The kids absolutely run right on Sunday, and it's great to see.
Got many in the youth system?
Oh, yeah. Everyone from 13 to 16's got 30 plus players in it.
Wow.
The boys and the girls in their age are amazing.
Yeah.
Girls team 12s, 14s, 16s. Between the three, there's 50 plus.
Brilliant.
And the women's team, they're in their 4th competitive season.
Wow. What league are they in?
So they're in NC2.
Oh, wow.
They do come in Hampshire a little bit and bits and bobs. They're doing really well with newbies all the time coming in the women's rugby, which is great.
Yeah.
But today and this season, the big effort is going to be watching the first team and giving them as much support as possible. And everyone at home is wishing them the best. And home games is going to be noisy. So if you do come down to us, bring some noise as well, because we're all here for a good time.
Nah, it's good. Christy, really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully you have you at half time.
Yeah.
Right, so we're at half time. Not a bad little first half, mate. 27 up at the minute. There you go, sunshine. Nearly got his boobs out on the telly for us. One more. There we go. Guys, what a step on him. Phil. Right, so decent first half.
Yeah.
27 on the scoreboard. Oh, 2010, sorry, on the scoreboard. How do you think it went?
I think it's been okay. I think it's been quite scrappy.
First 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit unsure of the level you were at.
Yeah. I generally think we felt like that on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
I think we went straight back into old habits where last season we were
was easy.
We were making like a line break off of the first pass.
Yeah.
Where this season it's very different. So we now have to learn how to build. And if we don't build, then we're just going to find ourselves later on in the season, we're going to struggle more and more against some sort of tougher teams along the way.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, big mistake in the lead up to their first try. What happened there? It was just kind of time stood still.
I think it was very much a simple mistake. We dropped off of 3-4 tackles, and you can't do that at the level.
100%.
It's very simple. You've got to make up your front up tackles. If not, they're going to punish you.
Yeah, very big up front as well. It didn't look like they put it to much play in the first half. Do you think you've got lucky?
I think we have a little bit, but I think actually looking at them when they're actually taking the ball into contact, they're not as dynamic, not as sort of powerful as what you might first think. So yeah, so we're looking good, we're looking positive, and hopefully
the ref's already been in it 6 times, so it's all right. Don't worry about that. You can join in as well.
But yeah, no, second half I feel it's going to be, hopefully we come out and it's going to be different. But I think as long as we stick to what we've been doing in the first half and we lower that error count, which we spoke about at the beginning, then we will see ourselves through.
You're making the kicks. That's positive as well.
Yeah, I think
when those pens go for you, you're making those points count and you're keeping that ball ticking over. Is there a favoured end here? Because is there a favoured Petersfield end?
Not really. Probably say our sort of favourite is the way that we've been playing so far.
Okay.
But actually, with the conditions, it's not
what it is. Yeah.
Normally, the wind is coming down sort of that direction. So that's where it lends itself. Second half, in a team back. But actually, there's not much wind around. There's a little bit of drizzle probably.
Yeah.
Actually, I think whatever end, we need to put points on the board.
That's it. So the thing is, I think the front up contact's been pretty much there. It's just trying to break that, as you said, break that line. You're used to probably breaking that line, the league below, and you haven't been able to quite do that. So do you think that's now the focus? Make sure you break that line and make that count on the first run?
It's got to be. Yeah. It's got to be. Once we get through, we've got to capitalise on exactly that. We can't just run through and then just hope that person scores. But there are going to be people that are going to chop them down like we've seen in the first. So we've just got to learn that we need to follow up. We need to get onto the person with the ball and literally hopefully we come away with points every single time.
No, because how did your threes were playing as well? Do you know?
They lost by 1.
Okay.
So in their first pre-season.
Against Christchurch, wasn't
it? Christchurch twos.
Some of their ones probably turned up. The cancellation the other day, didn't they?
I believe that.
They're one and a half, is it?
Yeah. So actually, for a pure social team that get thrown together, they do a little bit of touch on a Thursday.
Brilliant.
Actually, pretty proud of the boys for first up. So it's looking good, looking positive. Got a few. We've got 2s next week. Having a game, so it's gonna be good.
Big second half then.
Big second half.
Christy. Thank you. Right, so we've got Charlie on from North Dorset. Club captain. Hard day at the office there a little bit, maybe. You probably left a little bit out there. Is that fair?
Yeah, hard day at the office. I think, long journey down for us, 2 newly promoted teams. We knew it was going to be hotly contested. I think teams like us, we got to make home our fortress.
Yes.
Coming into these leagues, which they definitely have. I think, when they were down to 12 men at one point, I think right at the end, we just didn't take our chances there. So I think definitely lots to work on. But I tell you what, hard day at the office, scoring 17 points. That's not that bad.
And you took your chances as well. Obviously, they made a mistake in the first half and didn't make any tackles, and you guys just walked through them.
That's it.
So there was probably other times that he could possibly got there, but 17 points away from home against a team on the up, as you said.
Yeah.
Not a bad start of the season. And who you got next? Who's up?
We've got Chichester at home next.
So that's a game you want to...
That's the game we really want to put under. And obviously Chichester, I mean, ex-Napbury. I don't know how long they've been this level for, but they're not going to be any mugs. We got to make sure that our little farm in Dorset's our fortress. So we got to keep that going. So hopefully it's a bit of a slow start and we want it, but let's hope for some drier weather and see.
You got many lads back next week? You got a few away this week?
Yeah, a few away this week. We've got a few away next week, but a few coming back. So I think the scrum will be a bit roisted more than today, but at the same time we're missing a few back, so we'll have to see what's happening with that.
Is that kind of the plan for the season? Part of the bus, make sure you ain't getting past the scrum.
I think so. I think that's our super strength. That's what we want to. That's what we've done the last few years. That's always been our threatening point. So why change them? It's working for us.
Yeah, you had many join you from last year, or?
Yeah, so we got obviously where we're situated in North Dorset, there's not much around. We are in the sticks, but we've had a few guys from Yeovil come down.
Nice.
Guy from Salisbury, and a few guys from Blandford. So a lot of local teams have seen what we're kind of doing and what we're trying to build, and they want to get involved. So
what's your opinion of the club? Is it on the right trajectory? Obviously you got promoted, you got a good set up and stuff.
So we were post-COVID, we got post-COVID that when they cut the leagues, we got relegated down into level 8.
Brilliant.
So we were two seasons in level 7. Now we're in level 6. So if we're not in the right direction, I don't know what it is.
No.
I think we want to be in this level. I think this is probably where we would peak at, but we just want to maintain and be coming to places like Petersfield is a lovely
Great
club.
pitch out there.
Yeah, and also if you want to play new teams, new clubs, experience new gates to go to. So that's what we're all about.
Brilliant. We had obviously Zach on earlier on from you guys.
Yeah.
Seems to be a really keen DOR. Does he help push the club in the right direction?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, fair play to him. It's his heart and soul into all of his spare time. You can ask his wife, who's a physio.
Yeah.
All of his spare time's up here. So credit to him. He last time we came up to this league, we probably didn't plan very well for it. We kind of just went, let's go the way let's do what we're doing. But we're trying to change things up now. Fair point of difference and see how we go.
Quality.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure talking to you, mate.
Thank you.
Go well for the season. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. Right, so we've now got Nick on from Petersfield, club captain, or
Not club captain. He's into the moment I'm fitting in.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, how do you think that went out there? 32-17, first half, looked fairly comfortable. First 20 minutes was a bit rocky.
Look, it's start of a new season is always pretty tricky. We got a load of changes, all this sort of stuff. Not really excuses.
No.
First half we created stuff, really did, and we probably put more of our structure into place and nice play. Second half was, I'm surprised you boys didn't fall asleep on the sideline. It was just scrappy.
Did it feel like that on the pitch?
A little bit, to be honest. Like we thought we were down to 12 men at one point.
Yeah.
Discipline was pretty poor. We made a lot of mistakes, but to be fair to the boys, we've shown a lot of dog, which is what we sort of pride ourselves.
Yeah.
Over that. So, yeah.
You obviously part of the mistakes in the first half, that first 20 minutes, first try, you can see they kind of just switched off. Everyone just it was not the ideal situation. I spoke to Jamie before, the manager as well, and said that was kind of not where you expected to be. You probably left a lot out there. Is that fair?
I'd say that's definitely fair. And we spoke about half time. We felt that we were probably creating more chances than them.
Yeah.
We just weren't executing and finishing them off. And that was something we wanted to go into the second half with. Probably didn't work out quite as we wanted to.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're creating those chances is very positive for us.
Do you think you kind of got caught out by the weather? Seeing as we were in September, you didn't expect it to start slip. I bet that was like handling a bar of soap out there.
We don't hide any secrets. We want a dry day. We want all about. They probably don't. They're probably a bit more physical.
Oh, yeah.
And when it was pissing down with rain, I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But there we go.
But do you expect that to sort of play out for the rest of the sort of up to the spring period, or do you expect to hopefully hold that out and have a backup plan, or is that kind of where you're at?
We know that we've got to adapt how we play. And it's probably about being a bit more streetwise, especially in this higher league.
Yeah.
Against those opposition that will put us under pressure. So we've got to learn to play in a different way and adapt our game. Also, we're not afraid to go from under each iron post when it's on.
Yeah. Kicking game looked fairly solid today. You obviously were able to pick out the right opportunities when it was available.
I can't run, so I've got to be able to kick. So.
No, well, this is it. But you obviously spotted the right gaps. There was a couple of times where they managed to intercept as well and managed to get that in. Is that kind of where you're going to exploit teams that are a little bit bigger and try and pick them over the top and make sure you stretch them?
Yeah, we said in the warm-up that they're a big side. We want to move them about.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, obviously, we couldn't do that with ball in hand today.
Yeah.
So we had to sort of pin corners. We didn't think their backfield was probably set as well as it could have been.
Yeah.
So we definitely saw space. And because of how greasy the ball was, there's sort of the option.
A couple of decent 50-22s dotted out there, which helps.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Execution around the rest of the set plays was a little bit probably scruffy from your side, which you guys are fairly pride yourself on. Is that
I'd say last season we were lucky we had such dominant scrum.
Yeah.
We know it's not going to be as dominant this year. There's no way. However, line out was pretty good. We got some nice balls. Scrum probably wasn't exactly where we wanted it to be, but I think we can't expect to be as dominant, but definitely to be more solid from our point of view.
No, it's taking your opportunities when it's available as well, and obviously having the experience like Liam, obviously strolling past
certainly helps.
He did sort of get stuck in the pitch at one point. I've already spoken to the groundsman. I thought he put quicksand in there for that.
I'll go and tell him that.
That's it. I did. I told the groundsman earlier. He wasn't so happy, but
he's getting old now. So
what a pitch out there.
It's lovely, and look, we are so fortunate just how good our facilities are. The pitch, the changing rooms,
even the gym next door, everything.
It's unreal, to be fair. And
how long have you been at Petersfield?
So I've been here since the age of 5. I left briefly for sort of academy staff, nationals, all that sort of stuff. But I've came back here 5-6 years ago now.
Nice.
I love it.
Where did you disappear off to?
So I was with London Irish for a bit.
Okay.
Went over to Havant for some Colt stuff.
Yeah.
And then ended up back here. So.
Didn't work out at Irish. Was that when they went bust, or was that?
No, so I was before that, a little bit older than that. Just wasn't good enough. Loads of my peers made it, but hey, I didn't.
Did you kind of think that you were that, or like obviously you ended up here now? Do you think that was your ceiling?
To be fair, I think from my point of view, when I sort of got dropped from Irish and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
rugby wasn't sort of so much my life anymore.
Okay.
It came a point of like I can't complain about being here. I love all my mates here.
Yeah.
Local to me, I live 2 minutes away.
Perfect.
It's easy and fun, and I'm getting better as a player. So while I'm doing that, rugby's not everything.
No, that's it. By the looks of it, you've got a good few young lads coming through the system as well. Is that well nurtured? Do you get many Colts in training and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it's sort of definitely something we're trying to increase. I've just taken over as head coach of the Colts.
Oh wow.
So we're definitely trying to put what we're doing in the senior setup into the model, because look, we're aware that probably the pinnacle at the moment, Hampshire's haven't. There's no hiding it. Their academy setup's great.
Yeah.
They bring loads of boys through constantly.
Yeah.
And there's no hiding. We want to get to that stage where we're doing the same.
So I actually coach. I'm the club president of the club in Spain.
Okay.
So I coach under 16.
Yeah.
So if Petersfield want a little tour away in Spain,
absolutely,
you're more than welcome at any time.
As long as there's a golf course nearby.
Oh, there's loads of them. So we ain't got to worry about that. But season ahead, what's your forecast?
So we've got Tots next week, who we know are a big team, and they've been in this league for ages. They've got loads of experience. We've got them at home again, which we're lucky. We're happy with 2 games at home on the bounce this season. I know it's really cliche, but we are really going to take each game as it comes, build into it. We know we've got to be better than we were out there today, especially for some of these away fixtures against the likes of Winchester and those sort of teams. But I'm excited for where this group can go. We said last year we're excited.
Yeah, when I had Matt and Liam on early on in the pod, they obviously said that this team isn't quite at their pinnacle yet. So if you manage to add in the right direction, you can't fault it. 32-17 on your first game in this league, and probably left a lot out there as well. It's probably not a bad start as a season.
Take it. Yeah.
Really appreciate your time. Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. So we've got Jamie back. End of the game, mate. How do you think that happened? Obviously there was a bit of a capitulation for the last 10 minutes. Is that fair?
Yeah, I probably would agree. It was the game kind of just went for that last 20.
I don't think it went for either side.
Yeah, no.
On both sides, it fell apart.
I think probably down to a little bit of fitness, a little bit of obviously not playing at that level so far. So, yeah, it was a game. It was a game of rugby. Like, people lost their heads a little bit at the end. So we need to go away. We need to actually look at it and go, right, where can we improve?
Yeah.
And actually, it's going to be that last 20 minutes of the training session and going, right, we need to make sure that we're fully switched on it.
Making the right decisions, as you said. Losing 3 players, you're going to get penalised by a lot of bigger clubs.
Yeah.
And you, obviously, this lot up front were big. And I was talking to their captain and he said that wasn't even their biggest pack. He said they've got bigger to come back. So you guys obviously fronted that up, but if other teams are around, they're going to pull you apart if you just keep losing players up front.
Yeah, definitely.
How would you overcome that in training? What's the plan? How are you going to sort of teach that to the lads to make sure they don't become a dickhead at the last 20?
Well, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's their personality at the end of the day. And you don't really want to be changing that. I think it's basically doing a lot of decision makings at the very end of sessions.
Yeah.
And almost maybe doing like games strategies, like scenarios.
Yeah.
And just getting them like, right, we might be up, but let's manage the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's where obviously.
Do you think that's what you lost today, game management? Do you kind of think you lost your way a little bit?
I think
saw the scoreboard and thought, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it was the scoreboard. I think it was just final 20. I think people just got tired.
Yeah.
And they just started making the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
I think that's basically all it come down to. It was just decision making at critical times, and actually sometimes it wasn't even critical. Like one of the yellow cards was up by, we were in their half by the 10. We don't need to be appealing for that. And I think that's where players personally have to sort of review this game and go, right, what did I do well? But actually, where could I have made a difference and changed my decision?
So is the VO go out tomorrow and everyone sort of sits there and self-reflects, and then you guys come and gather it back together?
The VO will be sort of uploaded tonight, and obviously be sent out to the players, and hopefully they do take that reflection time and sort of see where it could have been their positioning, it could have been in the strategy that we have. But hopefully they look at it, because obviously we've gone up a level. Players are going to have to actually review their performance,
100%.
and actually see where they can improve and where they can go. So it's a big step.
Other way, really positive, mate. Really, really great start at home. Obviously, get another home game back to back, which is perfect. Tots are going to be a bit more of a challenge next week, potentially.
Yeah, I think it's got that little bit more local rivalry as well. Like Tots, we've played sort of their twos and their threes sort of along the years sort of I've been here, but we've never actually been at that level with their ones. So because they're Southampton, and obviously it's a lot closer. And most of the time that they will turn up a little bit fresher. Obviously, North Dorset had a 2-hour journey here.
It's not easy, is it?
You're going right. They're going to find it tough to come out and kick.
Weber worked against you guys and them as well. Obviously, you wanted ball out of the back. It's like throwing a bar of soap around out there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think next week it's going to be a very different game. And I think we've just got to go away. We've got to prep well, like every game, and we just got to come back, and we've got to make sure that we hit the ground running from minute 1 to minute 80 next week.
So big game next week then. Still positive for the season?
Oh yeah, still positive. Like we took away 5 points from a game that we obviously predicted, and we thought it was going to be a lot closer. So we're very happy.
You probably left 2 or 3 tries out there as well.
Exactly. I think it's going to be as the season goes on, you're going to have players that come in, players that go out, but it's actually trying to keep that continuity. So you actually start learning how people play again. Like I said to one of the coaches earlier, the start and backs lineup hadn't actually had a pre-season together.
Really?
So that was the starting line.
Idea was it?
And actually they hadn't had any warm-up to actually get to know people's pace again, their passing ability. So, it's just going to be one of those things, and hopefully it develops over time.
Good season ahead though, mate.
Fingers crossed.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Right, we've stored ourselves away on the balcony now to try and protect ourselves from the rain. For those that obviously been part of the pod from the early doors, we've got Matt McLean back on. Matt, you've obviously kind of got a new role now. You're kind of a big deal here.
On paper, mate.
New DOR, is that correct?
Yeah. So I've probably picked up the role and responsibilities of that back in, I don't know, March. At the end of last season, really. Just we've got a real sort of keen vision, I think, within the club to try and transfer some of the sort of senior style of rugby through the age groups. But obviously, it's going to take some time in that and putting the foundations in with the Colts first, and then sort of filtering it down from there. But keep me busy, and it's all going well.
I can imagine. What's your review of today? Obviously, good win. Probably a little bit left out there as well.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, the most important thing was the result. And we've come away with 5 league points, and we've restricted them to nothing. So it's a long bus journey home for them with no points on the road. And despite their efforts, and I think obviously very different to the previous 2 pre-season games that we played, where the result wasn't the objective, and it was more about sort of performance and output and putting the processes together. And I think we had a couple of good hit outs. With some difficult score lines, but I think it stood us in good stead for today. So the result was perfect. Performance-wise, I think the second half was really disjointed. Compounded by some ill discipline and some decisions that went against us, particularly up front at scrum time, and we were down to 12 players at one point. However, what I would say is, whilst we were down to 12 players, we didn't concede any points.
No.
So what was really pleasing about that was that we sort of dug in and showed a lot of
running around,
really good attitude, and we sort of made it scrappy for them. So
I think the weather probably played in your favour in that as well, because they couldn't quite execute what they were trying to do with against 12 men.
Absolutely. I think once we'd gone down to 12, the weather helped us out, but I think when it's 15 on 15, the weather's probably helping them out. We're a side that's, I think, traditionally known, particularly after last season, for wanting to move the ball about, play a high sort of tempo style of rugby. And greasy conditions sort of dilute that a little bit, really. But nevertheless, I thought still in the first half, I thought we were by far the better side, but were poor in terms of recycling possession and being patient.
Yeah.
So it looked as if we wanted to try and score within 2 or 3 phases every time.
That last season you had a lot of impact on first ball, and you probably expected the same this year.
Yeah, and I think it's right to have the attitude to go for it. Right. Yeah. But what we have to recognise is, if we worked hard to break the line and get in behind, and we're looking at 50-50s, we have to hold on to the 50-50s.
Yeah.
And we'll learn that throughout the course of the season. I think hopefully we'll learn it quickly in the early part of the season, so that we don't fall foul of that at some point.
Yeah.
Against what is going to be some tricky opposition throughout the course of the season.
Big game next week against Tots.
Yeah. Thankfully again it's a home game for us, and I think that makes a big difference. So if we can get some points out of that, and hopefully maximum points, if the weather's dry, then that gives us a really good foundation in terms of which to build onto for the forthcoming games, where we're going to have to sort of have some difficult trips away from home. So, we'll try and bank on our home season and pick up what we can on the road.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to determine what it is we're going to come up against. We just don't know what the quality is like. Obviously, they were a decent side today. Really big up front.
They said that was their smallest pack available.
Right. Well, that was the biggest pack we'd played in a long time. So, thankfully that they were hopefully missing a couple of players up front. Obviously, with that, it means that they're not as mobile.
Yeah.
And possibly through, I guess, the months of November to February, they'll have some really difficult opposition for some teams, but it's all about us trying to take our chances while the weather's dry and sort of play the brand of rugby that we want to play. So,
do you think today really made you sort of prepared for those shitty winter months that we've got coming?
I'm not sure if it prepared us for those winter months, but I think what it probably has prepared maybe some more of the boys in the squad for is some tough encounters.
Yeah,
I think we're probably a little bit guilty of leaving our own hype a little bit off the back of last season. We won so many games. Well, we didn't lose a league fixture, and we won so many by quite considerable margins that I think some people think that they can just turn.
The season was going to be a stroll.
Yeah, and so it's about the senior players then stepping up and making sure we grab hold of that and sort of say, well, we have to work hard first. There was a couple of times today where we turned momentum around. We're on the back foot. We put a couple of decent kicks in.
Yeah. And
everybody's standing there, clapping and laudering the kicks, but nobody's followed the kick up. They throw a quick ball in, and all of a sudden they're on the counter attack. I think as you progress through the league structures and you go up levels, teams will be a little bit more cute in terms of how they play, and we've got to be wise to that and follow good play up with making sure that we stop the opposition from taking any quick opportunities to get.
I mean that was pretty pronounced in the first try they scored. Everyone gone and switched off.
Well, yeah, and they obviously had a couple of dangerous players. Their 15 was an elusive runner.
Yeah.
We probably just thought, well, that's all right. We've cleared the lines a bit, and we weren't connected in midfield on the kick chase. And we learned really quickly that, if you do that and they've got some decent players who are going to counter that, they'll punish us. And the lad scored from 50, 60 metres out. I thought we dealt with him relatively well the rest of the game. He had a couple of nice touches and a couple of decent line breaks thereafter. But as the game wore on, I think we sort of tightened up a bit on the
after that wake-up call early on.
Yeah.
It was addressed, wasn't it? But you can't probably leave that open for many other clubs within this league.
Well, no, because if you do it too often, they'll keep taking those chances.
100%.
So, but again, it's a learning curve for us, and it's a journey that we're on in terms of, I guess, acclimatising to this new level of rugby that Petersfield Rugby Club has never been at before.
No, brilliant.
So hopefully we'll get there sooner rather than later. But it's good to start the season with 5 points.
Brilliant. So what is your target? What's been sort of muted around, not said out loud? Point.
Well, listen, I think Liam and I are particularly ambitious people.
Yeah,
we're ambitious players, ambitious coaches, and we don't see why, if we can piece things together. A lot of it depends on availability, of course, and key players remaining injury-free, that we can't challenge for those sort of top 2 or 3 spots.
Yeah.
So, whether that's our goal, but it's not, we won't sort of talk too much about it. We want people sort of
do the business.
Get
done.
Yeah, keeping their feet on the ground, and nothing comes without the hard work. But what I was pleased with today was, again, while we were down to 12 men, some of that attitude and hard work come out, and you can't coach effort. So it was really good to see that.
Saw Liam's obviously put on Instagram the other day, this is the last season. Did he misspell that last season?
Yeah, well, so having known Liam for some time, I think if we trawl through his history and social media posts, he would have said that it's his last season for the past 5 or 6 seasons. I mean, it could well be his last. It depends how we do, to be fair. But I think, all the while that I'm playing and I sort of want to carry on playing again this and probably next, I'll be in his ear to make sure that he carries on as well. So, and he's got a few years on me, to be fair.
You got a little knock at the minute as well.
Yeah, so I picked up, it was the last game of the season there when we played in that Papa John's fixture. So, I injured it early doors in that game. And it's just taken a bit of time. The recovery process was going a bit slower than what I'd hoped and what I'd expected when I got some scans on it, and it just needed a bit of a clear out, really. So hopefully only about 6 to 8 weeks, and I'll get back sort of by November-ish, hopefully.
No.
Just in time for the rain and the wind.
All the grimy shit. Yeah. Matt, really appreciate your time again, mate.
Yeah, good.
Great to have you on again, mate. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Right. Obviously got Zach back on now, mate. How do you think that went?
Yeah, it was tough. Tough as we thought. Scrum dominance was still the same as last year, which was great. But for us, there's a few little key things to work on, which hopefully we can change that score back around by the time Petersfield come down to our place in a few months' time.
I think you left a little bit out there.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the journey, the boys getting used to travelling this far, and the game day management might have not quite been there. But definitely second half, only 10.7 the second half with a big difference. The first half, first 20s especially, we might have still been coached a little bit. Something to look out for the boys.
I think obviously not being able to capitalise on them down to 12 men was probably crucial as well.
100%, yeah, massively. Should have been looking to put points on there. We had two uncontested scrums right at the end there where they were down to 12 players.
Yeah.
And couldn't finish. So yeah, something massive there to work on and a lot of decision making to look at.
Connor, what's the plan for Tuesday then? Regather and just sort of sit there and figure it out, or actually you've got game plans already in your head that you guys have got to go through?
Yeah, the things to look at on Tuesday will be, like I say, we'll get the video from this. The boys will see it tomorrow. We'll be looking at that, analysing it. The coaches will be on it, and it'll be looking at just key little parts of the game where decision making needs to be improved slightly, and things like just that urgency and commitment to the cause.
I think there's a lot of positives though, mate. Really good platform you can generate, and those your backs. I know you're a very forward-heavy squad, but your backs when they get space, they get space, mate.
No, like I say, it was great to see the scrum dominance was there and kept going and going. If anything, not been horrible, but we should have been absolutely crucifying them and in the scrum, get a few more cards, keep pushing them back, and open out of the back. Like I say, we've seen it at first 5-10 minutes. As soon as Tom got the ball, he was through, and we need to see more of that. That's what we've seen last year. Is getting the boys to realise that they can do it at this level as well. Yeah. Pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and going for it.
We had your captain on a minute ago, caught up with him, and he said that was probably your smallest pack available.
Yeah. Yeah, do it wrong. Yeah. We were missing sort of 2 or 3 lumps today, which last year was our big ball carriers, and it would be a case of, let's say, coming around a ruck and they would literally tear it up 10, 15 metres at a time and usually knocking teams back. Yeah. And we put them on the back foot, and then that's when our speeds are that wide. They crossing the line, crossing a whitewash.
Plenty to work on, but I think you've got a good platform to go this season.
Yeah, no, I say the boys, absolute hats off to them. They worked really hard this pre-season. We started in mid-June. Yeah, been a long pre-season. The boys have worked really hard. New coaching set up. The boys, I say, hats off to them. They've done so much, and I just hope they stick together week in, week out, win, lose or draw. Yeah, as a team, keep committed to training. And I say, just keep putting these things in the practice and training and see results in a week, because it will come. Yeah. As soon as these training sessions keep flowing, the boys' commitment stays there and the heart adding to it. These scores 32-17, they're being our way. They're being our
17 points away from home up here is not a bad outing, mate.
No,
you've done well there. So 2.5 hours back on the coach. Yeah. The social after is going to be pretty decent.
The boys are absolutely buzzing for it. Like I say,
many debutants. Is there many that are going to be alive on the way home?
Yeah, we've got 4 debutants. Yeah, so there's going to be some boys. There can be some beer flowing. Yeah. There'll probably be some karaoke. Yeah, and like I say, win, lose or draw, always on the beers. It's all about the social and keeping the boys morale up. And like I say, today 17 points away from home. There's nothing to be talking about at all. No, did really well. And thank you for Petersfield for a great day.
No, brilliant. Tom, man.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, pal. Thank you, mate.
Well, that brings yet another episode to an end. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone that's joined, everyone that's been involved. The Grassroots Rugby series seems to have gone really well. A lot of people have enjoyed it. So hopefully we can pick that up when we get back out to Spain or when we potentially visit back at some point. So we've got next week, we've managed to get Dara Coyle over. We actually attempted the recording many moons ago. but Daryl's over in Australia. He's done a stint over there with the University of Sydney. He works for Terranere College as well, and he's part of the old Wesley setup. So we want to try and understand the All Ireland League over there, make sure that we can try and spread that word as far as possible. Really top bloke, really knowledgeable about the game, really passionate, and it's a really, really good conversation about Irish rugby, where he come over to England and was able to give other opportunities, and then how he's now managed to go over to Australia for a 4-month stint to open his doors and open his mind to other options as a coach. So a really, really top grassroots bloke coming on to talk about Irish rugby and where he's been and how the Australian game differs as well. So really good one. Managed to play with a good few players when he was at college as well. Self-confessed that he wasn't the greatest player, so he's that's why he went straight into coaching as early as possible. But it's a really top interview as well. So really glad to get this one going. So hopefully you love this one, you'll love the next one and the ones after. Don't forget to get involved in that competition. And finally, from me, thank you and goodbye.